Okay, it's 7:05, so we can go ahead and get started. Or should I wait a little bit longer or no? Okay, I will, Diosa. Thank you. Okay, y'all. So I don't have a actual slideshow because Spirit changed something for me today, so it's not gonna flow how I thought it was gonna flow. I was gonna come up here and do like a college type presentation, I guess, and they're like, no, just get in, give y'all the basic information, and then we can always come back and do something at a different date if y'all want like the in depth information on herbalism. So, um, let me just do my introduction first. I'm Nichelle, and I am a medicine woman. I study herbalism. I do root work, conjuring, all of that. Um, I'm still very new to it, but I've taken a few certification classes, so I do have certifications in herbalism. But I am still learning, and a lot of the information that I get um, comes directly from Spirit. I do cross reference it with Google and with the books that I have, but I also just mainly go with like my ancestry. So, in its plainest form, what is herbalism? It's the study or practice of using plants for medicinal purposes. You can turn your pantry into your pharmacy. Everything herb and spice in your pantry can be used to benefit your body in some way. Even salt that they tell you to stay away from. Salt is still something that can benefit you in many different ways. Um,
What happened? What happened?
how did I get off the stage? I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so where did I stop at? Okay. All right. Thank you. So yeah, salt is one of the herbs that or spices that's in your pantry that you actually can use for people who have like an issue with holding water or be staying hydrated. If you put a little bit of salt in your water, that keeps the hydration on you longer. So that's for people who have issues with being hydrated for longer periods of time. And then also one thing that Spirit wanted me to bring up to you is that the things that we're putting in our mouth should be healing us and not killing us. And that is the problem with the prescription meds that they give us. Those prescription meds are masking symptoms. It's not actually curing anything. It's just masking the symptoms that we have. And so that's why you're stuck on those medications for so long. And then sometimes it's better to take your chances with the disease that's out there than to actually take the medication that they're prescribing you because it has so many different side effects that it's worse than the actual disease that you're fighting. So it's always better to look for a natural supplement or a natural herb rather than actually taking the medications that the doctors prescribed you. So right now you need to start with preventative care. So stop it before it starts so that you won't have to get on medications. Because once you're on medications, it's so hard to get off of them. To talk about why I got into herbalism, I got into herbalism when I noticed that there was a pattern in my own family of certain issues that I didn't want to be stuck with. For example, a lot of families have type 2 diabetes. And they'll just say, well, diabetes runs in my family. No, it doesn't. The bad habits run in your family. Type 2 diabetes is actually avoidable and it is reversible. But some people get in their mind that it's a family trait, it's a family tradition, or a family habit, so it's going to be something that we have to live with for our life. No, it's not. Bad habits run in your family, not diseases. So back to why I started herbalism for myself. It started because after I had my daughter, I noticed my blood pressure started to go up. So then they put me on blood pressure medicine. So I decided I didn't want to be on blood pressure pills for the rest of my life. So I'm actively working to get off of those now. And by the end of this year, that is my goal, to be completely off of those, because every time I go to the doctor, my blood pressure is lower based on the herbs that I take. And again, y'all, I'm using this push to talk, so give me a second. Um, I'm trying to see, where am I at? Okay, so the difference with the herbs that we take and medicines compared to each other, both of them will be helpful to some extent. But the thing is that medication will cause all kinds of issues within your body, depending on the medicine that you're taking and depending on how your organs are set up. As with herbs, they actually can help the whole body. As soon as you start taking herbs, you'll notice other things going on in your body that's being repaired. For instance, if I'm taking my herbs for my blood pressure, any herbal substance that supplements that I've created, I've noticed that joint pain is something that immediately goes away when you start taking herbs. So if you're over 40, maybe even 35, and you suffer from like joint pain in the morning when you get up and move around until you can get your body moving, you will notice that would drastically decrease when you start a herbal regimen. And then also I have a note in here that you should be including some form of plants in your diet daily, whether you're eating them, smoking them, or drinking them. And so also Spirit told me to make sure I tell you all, when if you're someone that smokes herbs, for example, marijuana, you have to remember that marijuana is a downer, so it's going to bring you down. It's going to relax you and calm you. There's nothing wrong with that except for it lowers your vibration. So when you're done with it, you need to do something to raise your vibration. Because as long as your vibration is lower, then you deal with lower level spirits when you bring yourself down. So you just want to remember, once you're done with it, raise your vibrations. However you do that, singing, dancing, whatever, you need to raise your vibrations after smoking it. And then also, y'all, because I'm doing this push to talk, I can't really read the comments, so I'm gonna get to those as soon as I'm done. Now, if you're somebody that's on prescription medication and you want to start a herbal path, you need to make sure you're speaking with your medical doctor so that they can monitor you while you're on medication, while you're taking the herbs. For example, with me, because I am on a blood pressure pill, I need to make sure that I'm monitoring my blood pressure daily to make sure I'm not dropping it too low. As it's dropping, if it does start to drop low, I would tell my doctor or let them know what's going on, what I am doing. Now, I haven't told my doctor up front, but I would suggest that you do. So don't follow my example. But I would suggest that you tell your doctor up front that you're thinking about going a more natural path so they can monitor you and make sure that everything else is going well. Now, I just wanted to bring up also that I would also encourage you to make your own herb and spices for like recipes. When you make use like your herbs out your cabinet, like say like the slap your mama seasoning. Understand that when you're blending different herbs together, some of those herbs are fighting against each other. Some herbs cannot be combined. For example, I'm going to give you this recipe for something that a lot of people use. One of the ingredients is celery seed. Celery seed is very beneficial. It is used as a diuretic, which means it helps to eliminate the water from your body, which is really good for people who have who hold water or have blood pressure issues. But then they turn right around and put salt in that same ingredient. So now you have the celery seed that's going to eliminate water, but then you have salt that's going to hold water. So a lot of the herbs and spices that we're using in our cabinets, if we're using blends that are made as blends, they're fighting against each other. Another ingredient in that same spice is red pepper, which is very beneficial because it contains a lot of vitamin C. It helps with your immune system, repairs your cells, um, and it also helps with it produces collagen for your healthy skin and bones. So that's the red peppers, right? Then you have black pepper in that same uh, spice, and pepper is good for digestion, weight loss, antioxidants. Inflammation is good for diabetes, and it also helps lower your cholesterol. So these are ingredients that you have right in your cabinet that you don't even know does all this for your body because we don't take them in enough of a big enough dosage to actually affect anything right the proper way. So then another spice is in that same uh, seasoning is paprika. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps control your blood sugar level, which is really good for people with diabetes. It helps improve your eye health, heart health, and it also helps to lower your cholesterol. Now, most of you don't know, but if you remove the salt from that, you have just created the Old Bay seasoning recipe without salt. So, those ingredients are all in Old Bay, but because of the salt added with the celery seed, it's not going to do what it needs to do in order to help your body heal properly, especially if you're someone who's dealing with blood pressure issues. But if you wanted to create that Old Bay seasoning, all you have to do is use those same ingredients and just remove the salt from it. Okay, so I just wanted to go over a few things that I figured people will want to know right up front as far as um the basic elements that you deal with and things right in your cabinet that you can use. For example, the common cold. This is more so in your refrigerator. So ginger, oranges, lemons. If you want to use a herb, you can use lemon balm or echinacea. Those are. I would just increase. I would start doing something like a ginger shot every day to help your build your immune system because you want to be more preventative than trying to cure something. So if you start now with your ginger shots, I rarely ever get a cold. Matter of fact, I don't think I've had a cold this season yet because I regularly do my ginger shots. If you have something you deal with congestion, the mint family is good for congestion, which would be like your peppermints. And then you have your mullein, which is a herb. You have your rosemary that's in your pantry. Oregano. Most people have oregano. Then you have the eucalyptus and ginger also in that. For people who suffer with PMS or bad cramps during that time of the month, you can use ginger for that, peppermint, chamomile, turmeric, and red raspberry. Red raspberry is a herb, but it's more so like one of those herbs you start getting into once you've been in herbalism for a while. And then for those who suffer with headaches, ginger is really good for headaches. And you also have lavender, peppermint, and rosemary. Yes, Tree. Thank you for saying that. Yes, Tree. Thank you for saying that. Yes, when you use turmeric, you have to make sure that you're putting black pepper in it so that your body can properly absorb it as well. And just to go over a couple of herbs or spices currently in your refrigerator or I'm sorry, your refrigerator or your cabinet that you can use today to start like a regimen on it today to use for preventative care is ginger because it's known for its anti-inflammatories. Also, ginger is good for digestion. It's good for immunity, and it's also good for your cramps. Garlic is also good for blood pressure. It's an immune booster. It's also antibacterial, so for like infections and things in your body. Cinnamon is good for blood sugar levels. It's also good for what I've noticed cinnamon really being good for is for what is it called? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, appetite suppressant. Cinnamon is a natural appetite suppressant. So if you have a problem with like snacking and overeating, add some cinnamon in the morning to like a tea, and that will cut your appetite. Somebody asked, "Do we boil ginger?" You can boil ginger because you can make it into a tea, or you can grind it up into a blender with spring water, as I do, and make a shot. I strain it off, and then I make ginger shots out of that. Yeah, garlic is really good for colds. Now, just to talk about some of the things I've noticed with different herbs, like for instance, I really got into herbalism. I kept in herbalism because I noticed that there was a need within my own family for different herbs and spices. Um, for example, my dad started having memory issues. So I created a memory blend for him that had rosemary and basil and ginkgo biloba in it. And within a week of him drinking that, I noticed immediately a difference in his speech and his ability to convey his messages a lot more clear. He even told me that when he talked to now my dad's almost 80, so he was always reminiscing about the past and stuff like that. And he said he had this classmate that he never could call his name when he would talk about stuff that they did back when they were younger. After drinking the tea for a week, he was like, "I know this man's name," and he said, I can recall the man's name now." And then also he noticed that there were less aches and pains in his body. And that's another thing. Although you're using herbs for one ailment in your body, you'll notice other things being repaired and healed in your body from using herbs. Okay. So the books that I started off reading were African American Herbalism by Lucretia Van Dyke. And I can put these in the chat if y'all want me to. The Art and Practice of Spiritual Herbalism by Karen M. Rose. And then African Holistic Health by Layla O. Africa. Those are the ones that I started with. I have way more. I just haven't gotten into them yet, but that's where I started. And so, like I said, y'all, this was gonna be really quick because Spirit changed my whole presentation around. They wanted me to just get the basics out because it said certain people need to hear certain things. And the way I was going to, it was going to bore y'all and take y'all down a whole another route. So, are there any questions for me at this moment? It's funny that you asked because I'm supposed to start working with Dunkai this week, so I don't have any thoughts on it as of right now. Oh, also another thing, if you're going to start trying to do herbalism on your own to heal certain ailments within your own body, I would suggest starting with one herb at a time. I wouldn't suggest you start blending a bunch of herbs together because you don't know how each of them interact with each other. So you want to make sure you want to, or how it interacts with your body, period. So you want to start with one herb at a time, see how your body responds. I would say do that for maybe a week and then maybe add on a second herb. I wouldn't just start blending herbs together out of the blue. Okay, let's see. Say, what herbs do you recommend for cis? So with for cis, the herbs that I would recommend that I've started off with are things like chamomile and ginger. Now, Dunkai, the one that Tree is asking about, that's also another good one for it. I don't have any experience with it yet, but that's a good one for cis. Okay, the herb blend that I use to lower my blood pressure is hibiscus. I use cinnamon. I use with hibiscus, cinnamon, dandelion root, and rose hips. Those are the herbs that I use to for my blood pressure. Dandelion root is the one I started with, which was really good, and hibiscus. Those two I used together for a long time before I actually started adding additional herbs. So the stuff in your pantry is just as good when you get it from an herb store, but you just have to know the the milligrams that you're using because it's so ground up that it's not in a big amount. So you will need like a tablespoon, and also you want to read the side of the bottle and make sure that the herb that you purchase is all that's in there. If it's a blend of herbs, then no. But if it's like say like it's sage and the only thing an ingredient in the bottle is sage, then yes, it's fine. The two herbs for blood pressure were hibiscus flower and dandelion root. Tanya, you're missing the rose hips. Yes, I do have a herbal blend for anxiety. It's peppermint, chamomile, ashwagandha. You can start there. Peppermint, ashwagandha, and chamomile. Chamomile will calm you down, as will ashwagandha and the peppermint. So those three herbs are good for anxiety. Like I said, I would start with one and not blend them all together right away. But if there was any of them that I would start with, it would be the ashwagandha. Yes, I can create a herb list and put it in the chat. Well, in the herb section. Any other questions for me? The herbs I said for cysts and fibroids was I said to start off with like I said, tree said Dunkai, that's a good one. And then chamomile and ginger. Yes, there is one for vision. Give me 1 second. It's on my slide. Where is it at? Hold on, let me pull it back up. Okay, so for vision, the best herbs are, is there's a herb called eye bright. That's good for your vision. Fennel, turmeric, but remember with turmeric you need to add pepper, and ginkgo biloba. Now, from my personal experience with vision, I increase my carrot intake. So if you don't eat carrots, start eating carrots. Carrots, before I even got into herbalism or anything, there was a time where I had to wear glasses, and I started eating carrots. I ate carrots like almost every single day for like a couple of months. When I went back to the eye doctor, I did not need glasses. So that is my testimony on glasses. Now I wear glasses now, but that's because I don't eat carrots like I'm supposed to. But yeah, carrots will help that. Yeah, with parasites, I suggest wormwood. Okay, the three books that I've started with is called African American Herbalism, and that one is by Lucretia Van Dyke. The next book is Spiritual Herbalism, and that one's by Karen M. Rose. And the last one that I'm reading is African Holistic Health, and that is Layla O. Africa. Now, that book, if you talk to people, that one says you don't need any other book besides that book if you wanted to know anything about your body and herbs and different remedies. And all these books have different recipes in them as well. The ranch is gonna probably cancel out the benefits of the cure. Go ahead. Yeah, baby cures are different. If you're trying to use anything natural, I would suggest make sure that you're using the most authentic brand of stuff or authentic form of it. Just like how they say that you shouldn't eat seedless watermelons, make sure you're eating things with seeds in it. Same with all vegetables and fruits and stuff. Did I miss anybody's questions? Again, y'all, I thought I was gonna do this one way. Spirit told me no, do it this way. So, um, I also use herbs in spirituality. So, y'all want to get into that next time? That's fine. We can talk about different herbs and how you can use those to call in things that you need in your life. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. The herb that I use for protection is lemongrass, and I use that one because my ancestors told me to use that one. So, um, I can give you other herbs, but yeah, definitely that's one of the ones they told me to use. When is what class? I'm not taking. I'm not. Well, at this moment, I'm not teaching the herbalism class, Tanya. Thank you. Is there any other questions? Because now y'all just talking nonsense. Yes, Shree. That's another thing. I do try to source my herbs from reputable people or reputable locations. Try to make sure they're ethically sourced. And eventually, I want to start growing my own herbs and things of that nature. But also, I speak life into my herbs. I pray over them and set intentions for them. Make sure you're setting your intentions for your herbs. My lemongrass, I actually got that lemongrass from a spiritual store here in where I stay. Not Herbalism 101. Michelle, I'm glad you asked. There's so many. Let's start with mugwort. You can start with mugwort. That can help your um meditation and your psychic abilities. Hibiscus, the one that I said for lowering your blood pressure, that's very good for your psychic abilities. Um, what other one is there that I just know right off the top of my head? Those are the two main ones that I look at. Oh, vervain. Vervain is good for that as well. Yes, peppermint also, but yeah, vervain. Yeah, see, all y'all been using the herbs to enhance your psychic abilities. But yeah, vervain, mugwort, and hibiscus are the three that I really look at. You're welcome. For inflammation, the main one is turmeric, but also remember that with turmeric you need to add black pepper. For vitamin B, dandelion root, burdock root, and lemongrass. Also, peppermint is good for vitamin B. Was that on vitamin B? The dandelion, peppermint, burdock root, and lemongrass are the top four that I would suggest. Oh, cayenne pepper is really good for weight loss as well. So I do like cayenne pepper. I put spicy spicy stuff in anything that I'm eating, especially when I'm on like a health kick, because that helps with weight loss. Yeah, it is good for blood circulation too. Trying to think what's the other one that I use for blood circulation. I want to say that's dandelion root as well. I have to check, but yeah, dandelion root as well will help with circulation. Yes, beets is good for the blood because y'all have to remember also certain colors of foods is what they target. So beets are red, so beets are really good for like heart health and blood. Another thing that's good for like blood and circulation and things is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is good too. Yep, watermelon's good for veins, but it's also really good for hydration too. So if you're having trouble getting your water in, eat some watermelon. It's good. It's actually better. Watermelon is actually better than water. Yeah, watermelon is my favorite too. I just cut a watermelon up earlier today. Yes, I just my daughter has me making her cucumber water now. So yeah, we make cucumber in the water too. So yeah, cucumbers, watermelon, both of those are really good for hydration. So for herbs for creativity, you're gonna do ashwagandha. You can do lemon balm, sage, rosemary. You can do passion flower for that as well. So if I had to choose one, I would probably say ashwagandha because it just gives you that calmness so that you can create. Um, mushrooms, I don't know if it's a herb. I don't think it's a herb, but I actually do mushrooms. Uh, I do the cybacillin mushrooms. So I don't do them often, but I do partake in mushrooms. Now with lion's mane I heard is really good for um brain health. So mushrooms are an excellent form of nutrition. They're very good for like brain health. You're good, Michelle. That's fine. Yeah, Jessica, if you're going to do more than like microdose them, yeah, just make sure you're in a good headspace to do them. So for healthy skin, is naturally aloe vera is the top one. Turmeric is another one. Turmeric, aloe vera. I would start with aloe vera. A lot of people use aloe vera in different recipes to actually put directly onto your skin. But turmeric also is one. Not y'all want a story time on mushrooms. What the aloe vera? The aloe vera would help. Turmeric, I'm not gonna say yes. I don't know. I can research that and let you know. But for eczema skin, I would suggest things like shea butter. If you can deal with that, shea butter, mango butter, anything that's like you make topical. Somebody asked about tinctures earlier. I forgot all about that. Oh, I see it. Yeah, oregano tinctures. Any tincture, I think is really good. The problem with tinctures and me is that I'm impatient, and with tinctures, you have to let those sit for like 4 weeks before you can actually use them.
I can share my story with you today. Thanks to Awesome Support System, which includes but is not limited to a wonderful counselor, great friends,
Yeah,
and
definitely research the mushrooms. Watch some of the YouTube story times because those are interesting too.
we're gonna do it anyway. 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 We're gonna do it anyway.
I had to go looking for them because I know I was preparing to take mushrooms. Like I use mushrooms for a whole different reason than a lot of people. So I was preparing to take them, so I wanted to know what to expect because I've never done anything as nothing that altered my mental ability. So I just need to know what I was getting myself into. Yeah, Tree. That's what I plan on doing. I plan on starting mine like at the end of the summer because I also want to do fire cider, which is the um tincture for the flu, cold and flu season. Yeah, fire cider is a tincture for like the cold and flu season. Okay, Ermi. At this point, Michelle, you might as well jump in my inbox because actually I was looking at stuff for that because I don't want to ever lose mine. But yeah, nettle is one, hibiscus is something else also, and then neem is something that you can use for your hair loss. Oh yeah, that too, Tree. Yep. Now we need a whole class. Okay, I'll work on that. For psychic abilities, is hibiscus is one. Um, mugwort is like the top one, and peppermint. Like mugwort is everybody's go-to, so that one definitely works. And then also vervain. Well, thank you all for coming. Let's see, any experience with salves? No, not yet. Like I said, that's another one that requires them to sit for too long. I'm impatient. Like I said, I'm getting into those now, but no, I haven't really gotten into them. Oh, Damiana is excellent. Excellent for like your spiritual psychic abilities, yes. Yeah, Damiana is one that I've heard as well. It's very, very, very good. You're welcome. Okay, y'all. I didn't expect to be up here this long after Spirit changed my whole presentation. So thank y'all for coming. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate you all showing up and showing support. Glad I could help. Good night.